Anybody can pick up the game and play. The family can have fun on the couch. But to really take it to that top tier level, there's a lot of solid mechanics and fundamentals that you have to learn. So there is, even though it's just car ball, finding the back of the net there is actually a lot of technicality to Rocket League.
Yeah, and that's really interesting to me. Like, how about the people in chat? Like, are any of you guys just friends of the players or family members who don't actually play the game? Or are you all like seasoned players and thinking, wow, whoever this Makomi is, she's an idiot?
Oh no, we all start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Gotta dip the toes in the water. So we're just glad that you're able to join us and have some fun with us here tonight. Lincoln High from Walla Walla taking game number one. And honestly, not what I expected. But again, maybe that's because we've seen Wapato kind of dominate here for these first few weeks. But again, playing with a sub as well could potentially affect the team chemistry. Sometimes you have those first game jitters as well. So I always say game number two in a best of five is the most important game for me. That's the game I look at to see how well the teams are performing and really set the tone for the rest of the series.
Yeah, that makes total sense, especially because like Wapato has been having such a good season and they've gone basically flawless this entire season. They're probably a really good team, and typically like if a really good team does lose their first game in a best of 5 or a best of 3, they will make adjustments or like change up their strategy a bit. So,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
interesting to see what they're going to do this next game.
Yeah, you made a very good point. It's always important to because obviously different teams have different play styles, so to kind of recognize what they're doing and adapt to that play style and hopefully overcome that. But Wapato has been flawless through their first three best of fives. This is actually the first game that we've seen them drop here, and Lincoln's certainly very very talented, wanting to go up 2-0 on the series, kind of being in that driver's seat, making it only one game away. But we'll see if Wapato can tie up the series here.
So,
All
since
right.
you are the knowledgeable Rocket League person, what type of adjustment would you make if you were in Wapato's shoes right now?
Well, unfortunately, they do have the sub here, Jimmy. So again, I would try to just kind of talk to them, reassure them, get them more involved. You want to see them attacking that ball. So again, if they're not as comfortable going up in the air, it's okay to designate someone to drive around and demo people. You find in that backfield if they have someone sitting in the goal, demo that goalie so it opens up the net. I'm a huge believer in just being an aggressive player, and a lot of times, if you can demo someone repeatedly, they get very frustrated. As much as a mental game
Mm.
as it is a physical game. So getting in that head can certainly benefit you, but unable to do that here as Yugen will find another one. Yeah, I'm a huge a fan of the demos and the bumps, but a lot of people like to see the really technical stuff, the aerial control and the dribbling through the air. But again, just getting in your opponent's head can go a long way as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like worst case scenario, if you can't win the mechanical war, you can try to win the psychological one.
Absolutely. See, we can tell you play some FPS out there. We know.
Oh yeah. I know how to troll when it comes to games with the pew pew. Not so much when it comes to games with a car and a ball.
Hey, we'll get there. Rocket League, like I said, it's really fun. I haven't played it in a while, but it's a really fun game to sit down and play with friends or whatever it might be. But right now, Lincoln putting on a showcase. Well, Pato's defense holding a little bit stronger here in game number two, but Lincoln's just really good at keeping possession down here on this blue side. We see that third team member kind of rotating up toward half field, always punching the ball back in, giving them multiple opportunities to find the back of the net. Oh, a breakaway possibly. The defense
Ooh.
will find another stop here as Arancito looks to find the back of the net once more. This one will go past the defender here. One to beat. The defense is there. And we'll find this one out to the wayside. Jimmy on the counterattack across midfield. Unfortunately, gets away from the ball. And once more, Lincoln will put it back down here on the Wapato side. See Iron Bin on that rotation there. Twisted Old Soul up onto the corner, who has been very good for Lincoln. Not only finding these scores, but setting up really, really good passing plays to Yugen here as well. Has great aerial control. We see him working that ball off the ceiling here. Yugen with a flick over the head, looking for a secondary touch, but the defense will find the stop. Yugen displaying phenomenal aerial control out here.
Oh my goodness. So, question. What
Mm.
exactly causes the cars to explode?
So you have to be going a certain speed. Like normally, if you bump into a car, it's just a bump. If you're close to max speed or boosting, then you're going to blow that car up and demo through them.
Oh my
And
gosh. So, like, you won't blow up, but you'll blow them up.
correct. And
That
believe
is
it or
so
not, there
cool.
are right and wrong times to demo, because once you are demoed, there's about a 2 3 second respawn timer, and then you respawn nearly in front of your net. So if you have someone breaking away in front of you and you have a good opportunity to score a goal, maybe there's no one in the net. You wouldn't want to demo someone, your teammate demo someone behind you and have you respawn in the net. So there are technically right and wrong times to demo as well, but I'm all for demos, whether it's right or wrong. Love the exploding car parts and such.
Oh yeah. That's an interesting little aspect of strategy though, if you think about it.
Oh,
Like I
absolutely.
could see somebody trying to suicide in front of a speeding car to demo and then go into the goal if they're on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime you can get your car in front of, if not the ball, just touching your opponent, making it harder for them to find that next touch on the ball, is certainly going to benefit your team. But again, Lincoln playing nearly flawless. Their rotations are near perfect. Their third man always pushing up at the right time, keeping the ball down here on this Wapato side. So really, all they're hitting, the check boxes on all the fundamentals and mechanical abilities here.
Which is really awesome. Like you don't typically expect to see that in like high school esports leagues. So this is really I feel like as far as my first Rocket League experience going, this is probably like the best case scenario.
Yeah, it's crazy how these young students have really progressed over the years. And I do another high school league where there two different people are in the top 500 of the world. So a lot of these young
Oh.
students really have a lot of talent, and it's fun to see this because they have so many scholarship opportunities and college opportunities through gaming now. So
Mhm.
it's great to see students finding something that they can enjoy and get involved with, but still have that teamwork atmosphere. And speaking
Whoa.
of teamwork, we're gonna see this in the replay one more time. Twisted Soul with a double tap off the backboard,
That was
beautiful
crazy.
redirection. And that is just near flawless fundamentals right there from Twisted Soul. We see the aerial control rotating through the air as well. And, I got up to champ or grand champ, which is like the second highest rank, and I still couldn't do that stuff. So, really, sometimes these students make it look easy. I can assure you it is way harder than they make it look. And Lizbeth, who has been phenomenal in the first 3 weeks, has been silenced here, unfortunately, in week 4, will find their first goal, and maybe that can give them some confidence, momentum. Obviously, this game most likely is going to end up in a loss here for Wapato, but maybe they can carry some of that energy, that confidence from that goal into game number 3.
Oh yeah, and even if it is a loss because they are a good team, like they'll probably be able to learn a lot if they do lose as well, which is always something that can be useful, especially if you've gone undefeated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you should always be taking away, something from the game, whether you win or lose. You can always have room to learn. You can always have room to grow. And I think these students realize that they're young, they're aspiring, and they want to win. They're hungry to do their best. So bod reviews, things like that, certainly go a long way in any sport.
Yeah, and it looks like Walla Walla won.
Yes, Lincoln out here dominating. Twisted Soul putting on a clinic as well. Eugen has been phenomenal here. We see both of them in that 450 plus range. But I think the biggest thing for Wapato at the moment is that shot column. We see only 2 shots coming out with 1 goal from Lizbeth. So really just having trouble kind of gaining that momentum, getting down to the other side. And we see Lincoln really kind of controlling the pace, keeping the ball down on the blue side. It comes with those good rotations of that third man or that goalie, so to speak.
Hmm.
In my opinion, you never want to have a set goalie. Sometimes we see teams just have one person sitting in the goal, and that kind of creates some 3-on-2 situations. You really want to have anybody should be able to play goalie on that team, and that's why it's important to work on those rotations. If you go by the ball, you're attacking the ball, you go by, you have to turn around, you're losing all your momentum. So it's your job then to rotate back to the far post, let that person that's kind of play goalie come forward so they can always be pushing that ball out and away from your goal.
That is really interesting. So for Rocket League, unlike FPS games like what I'm familiar with, then if you're trying out for a team, um, do you basically have to be like an all-arounder, like a flex player, or do you try out for like specific roles?
No,
Do you know?
I mean, typically you have your two members that start up front, but you never know who's kicking off. It does alternate. So yeah, you really just want to be an extremely well-rounded player when looking to get on a very good Rocket League team.
Huh.
Got to
That
have all the
definitely up.
skrills.
Yeah, that really ups the difficulty at the higher levels, I bet.
Yeah, and honestly, it's this game is so hard to play. Like I remember when I first started, I think I flew 100 feet in the air and knocked a goal in, and I watched the replay, and I'm like 2 feet off the ground. So again, it looks kind of easy when you're watching it, which is fun for people who don't know much about the game or parents. It's pretty easy to kind of grasp. It's basically soccer with cars, but to really get into it and play it, again, a lot of these students make it look way easier than it actually is.
Oh yeah, as somebody who dabbled in Lucio Ball, I can imagine how this is so much harder than it looks.
Nonetheless, we are in game number 3 in this best of 5. The scores reset to 0 on that scoreboard there, an even set for both teams. But once more, it has been Lincoln on the attack. They have been relentless as we see them down here on the Wapato side, applying the pressure once more. The booming waterfall off the ceiling. The pass
Oh,
is there. But unfortunately, not quite enough power as Dax will find the stop. And there's that name we're used to. It's Dax. So Dax coming back in, maybe expanding the roster here and allowing more players to kind of get involved in the school league.
huh.
Oh, and with Dax back on the field, he finds the assist to Iron Ben, who's able to boost this one on into the back of the net. Again, getting up early, able to get over the head of the defender. And I believe that Lincoln has also subbed in a different player here as well. I think it's Faj. So maybe a few different roster changes. We'll see if Wapato can sneak away with game number 3 and extend the series a little bit longer. You think you're going to give Rocket League a try now, Miko?
I don't know. It looks really fun. I think it's something that would be more at my son's alley than
Mm-hmm.
mine, if I'm being very real. I am getting a bit older. And so
Well,
I could imagine keeping up with all of this vision wise could be kind of hard in the middle of it.
yeah, I mean, it's not too bad in the lower ranks, but they do have other game modes as well. Almost like a, Mario Party or Mario Kart, like power up style, where you get
Oh,
like giant
really?
boxing gloves and little things like that. So they do have little like couch, sit on the couch and play with your friends or play with your kids style games as well.
Ooh. Okay, maybe I will give it a go then.
And it's free, right? So if you don't like it, you can always just not have to, you didn't spend money, so
That's true. I always
it's a
forget that
win-win.
it's free.
Yeah. Nonetheless, Wapato on the board here, up by 1, standing strong at the moment. They have to be careful, though. Lincoln has been extremely dangerous this whole series, and Yugen on the attack into the corner, finds the pass across midfield. The defense will find the stop. A bit of a triple commit from Wapato. They certainly have to be careful with that, but it doesn't haunt them just yet. I think that's where team communication is huge, Miko. Again, if you have, you see you have 2 or 3 people in the goal there, you have to communicate with who's going up for the ball. You don't want all 3 of you to go up for the ball, because then, if you guys don't hit it, or if one of you hits it, then, the goal is still wide open for the other opponents to knock it in. So got to work on that team communication just a little bit. Wapato was looking strong through the first half, just under halfway now. Lincoln able to tie it up. Ooh, and
Ooh.
another big demo from Twisted Soul here.
I feel like
And
the
I get,
demos are the equivalent of fights breaking out in hockey games.
oh yeah, that's fair. That's a good assessment, and I like it because I love hockey and I love fights. But yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Yugen on the attack once more, and again, I think this Lincoln team is just so fast, right? Again, they're finding shot after shot. We'll see it here again from Faj or Fajin maybe, but. Just shot after shot. We see another one from Twisted, then Faj coming in. 3 opportunities, and all 3 defenders still in the net. So we got to get one or two of those defenders to either push out. Maybe one pushes out and attacks a car, finds a demo, and one pushes out and attacks the ball while leaving one defender in the goalie there. So maybe just a little bit of a breakdown on the communication or the basic fundamentals here from Wapato. And again, it's kind of shocking to see because Wapato has been 9-0 through their first 3 games, and now currently sitting at match point is Lincoln. Up by 1 as well. Wapato has just a minute and 20 left on the clock here to find another goal and potentially send this into overtime. I'm a fan of Rocket League, so I do like best of fives and I do like overtime.
How long is overtime in Rocket League?
So overtime, just like soccer, well, soccer in the World Cup or things like that, not regulation games, it will go to a golden goal. So the timer starts at 0 and counts up, and it goes
Oh,
until the first person to get the goal. They call it the golden goal.
okay. So overtime could be really long or it could be really short.
Yeah, and that's normally how it goes. When you get into overtime, it's like someone scores a goal within the first 15 seconds, or you're looking at like a 7-minute overtime. So it can even be longer than the original game itself at times. But with the way that Lincoln is playing tonight, I don't think they're going to have that problem. They have just been a force to be reckoned with, relentless on these attacks, shot after shot, and now from being down 1-0 to being up 3-1. Wapato with an opportunity here, fires at the net. Unfortunately, can't quite find the shot they need. Twisted Souls will carry this out. A wide open net
Oh
for
my,
Eugen. Woo! And that, Miko, most likely the nail in the coffin.
this was a crazy game.
Yeah, again, and if you had been here, the first 3 weeks, Wapato has clean swept everyone that they've played. I don't even think the games were close. 4-0, 5-0. So Wapato has just been an absolute dominating force, and it's their first year competing as well. They've had kind of
Oh,
they've had a program, so to speak, but they haven't been in the WSSEA competition yet. So this is their first year competing. They've certainly done very, very well, but Lincoln showing you why they're undefeated as well. And I think Wapato can go back to the drawing board, can really, watch this VOD back, team review, and learn a lot and grow a lot from this game.
oh yeah, especially like I would not have guessed that this was the first year of competing for Wapato's program.
Yeah, I mean, they
Like
certainly
you
have a
don't
great
see
program.
that. Like you don't see them having that good of a record
Yeah,
typically in their first
you're right.
year.
It's very, very rare for a team to just come in their first time competing and play so well. Unfortunately, things don't go the way of Wapato tonight. Lincoln High will take it in sweeping fashion and go 4-0 on the season. Wapato falls to 3-1 here in week number 4. Still a very good record, though. I mean, in my mind, that's playoff contention as we get a little bit closer to those.
Oh yeah. So tell me a little bit more about these programs. Like do they have coaches or is it just
Oh
like a
yeah.
faculty advisor thing?
Well, it could be either or. This is my first year with the WSEA League as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, the teams do always have a coach, but I know in some of my other leagues, it's been someone just who doesn't even know anything about the sport, but they need a coach. So a teacher will step up and kind of be the coach. So I
Mhm.
think it's really, really great that the parents, the teachers, everybody has been so supportive. We certainly want to take a moment to thank all of you at home watching, whether you're supporting your kids or fellow students or it's teachers stopping by. We certainly appreciate each and all of your support as well. Huge shout out to Seattle Built PCs as well. Ultimate performance, one of a kind aesthetics with that small business value. But Mikomi, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know our introduction, unfortunately, there was an issue with OBS, so it did get a little bit messed up. But we'd love to hear, we see the Twitter handle there, but maybe a little bit more about you or where we could find you and what you might have going on.
So I am a retired professional FPS player. I was the first woman in North America to be signed to play Overwatch back during Overwatch 1.
Eesh.
And then I moved on to Valorant for a little bit. I managed a couple top 20 NA teams. And then
Nice. I
I
love
also
Valorant. Big
I love
Valorant fan.
Valorant
I
too.
love Overwatch too, though.
I really love Overwatch. It has a really special place in my heart. Unfortunately, a lot of my Overwatch skills did not translate to Valorant when I tried to do like the game changers and some of the other things in esports with that scene before the Game Changers League opened. But I do really enjoy the game. I like the strategy aspect of Valorant more so than the strategy aspect of Overwatch, actually.
Okay.
And then other than that, I played Pokemon Unite and I
I saw
played,
that.
yeah.
I saw that on your Twitter. I love Pokemon Unite as well. And then number one Warlock, that was that a WoW thing? Or was that something
No,
else? Okay,
that's
because I was a
actually,
WoW player and I was a Warlock, so I was like,
oh no, let me tell you something. The people who are top like 10 in the world at WoW are just a different breed of human than I will ever be. I am a Destiny player as well,
okay.
and so it's just kind of a joke
Mhm.
amongst my clan and the other clans that I fill for raids in, because even though I am fully capable of doing the brain stuff for the raid mechanics, I would rather just turn my brain off and kill ads.
There
Like
you
it's my
go.
entire personality in Destiny.
Well, are you
So, yeah.
streaming? Is there a time or a place that we can catch you? I know we see down there at official Makomi. If you guys would like to check her out on Twitter as well. But
I don't actually stream frequently anymore. After I retired earlier this year from esports for the most part, I decided to go back to college. So now I'm working towards my STEM degree and
oh,
a
awesome.
doctorate and everything. So I'm a little bit busy with that.
That makes perfectly good sense. We hope to see more of you. We certainly had a wonderful time. So thanks for joining us. Huge shout out to WSSEA, Seattle Built PCs, all the students, everybody that was supporting again. As you can see, official Makomi there on Twitter, underscore hot sauce underscore for me live every day on Twitch, but Saturday. We certainly, again, thank you all for hanging out with us. Don't forget tomorrow, same time, Overwatch action. So maybe you can
Ooh,
check that out, Makomi. But we hope that you do join us here tomorrow again. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful evening.
bye.
Seize every opportunity as it came to me because I believed it might stop the sky from falling down.